Good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Pole shift. Have you heard of the pole shift before? Do you think it's coming in the near future? Now, there are some people that say there's a great pole shift happening in 2023, next year, basically. Now, I haven't been able to find a way to confirm that scientifically, but I have a couple of articles which are interesting, which are going to kind of explain what the pole shift is. I'm going to start with the NASA.gov website. But I want to start here. This is my timeline of Return of the Lord. You've seen it before. And there's some indications that suggest that there could be a pole shift that occurs when the wrath of the Lord starts at the midpoint of the tribulation, the midpoint of the 7-year period, the last 3.5 years, also known as a great tribulation. There's some specific things related to the pole shift that the Bible seems to describe as happening in the last days and during the wrath of God. So let's go ahead and let's try and pull this up here. This is NASA. Let's see, go like that. So this is NASA, and go over here, and we'll just scroll down. A couple of pieces that I want to read here, again, from the NASA website. Scientists understand that the magnetic field has flipped in its polarity many times over the millennia. So there's a picture of the magnetic field, and a picture on the side too. In other words, if you were alive about 800,000 years ago, now this is the time scale of millions of years, billions of years that the world believes as it relates to Darwinian evolution, but put this on the time scale of 6,000 years of man. Now, they suggest the last pole shift effectively happened during the last great extinction, which is the extinction of the dinosaurs. And that would be about the time of the flood. So there you go, about 4,000 years ago. Let's go on here. This is because the magnetic compass is calibrated based on the Earth's poles. The north-south marking of a compass would be 180 degrees wrong if the polarity of today's magnetic field were reversed. Many doomsday theorists have tried to take this natural geological occurrence and suggest it could lead to the Earth's destruction. Now, I don't believe it leads to the Earth's destruction, but it could lead to what the symptoms of what the Bible describes of the last days, the wrath of God. There's some interesting things happening there, and we'll read a couple verses there. But would there be any dramatic effects? The answer from the geologic and fossil records we have from hundreds of past magnetic polarity reversals seems to be no, they say. Now, the idea with the magnetic reversal is that we would lose the Earth's magnetic field, maybe for a second, maybe for a few years. In the past, apparently, it has gone down, for tens or hundreds of years. And most other times, it happens really quickly, and you may not notice it. But the thing is, when the Earth's magnetic fields disappear, that means all the radiation, the coronal mass ejections are hitting the Earth directly, whereas with the magnetic field, they're pushed around the side of the Earth. They don't hit it directly, but they do hit it at the poles, the North Pole or the South Magnetic Pole, and all the energy is transferred to those ends of the Earth. And isn't it convenient, of course, that nobody really lives at the poles? And this is what causes the charged particles, which make the aurora borealis, the bright lights you see in the winter or in the north. And so very interesting. So if this goes, that means there's a lot more cancer. That means sunburns will be significant. UV rays will be significant. And even more than that, it will. They even say it could dry out the oceans. All the water would evaporate from the heat and from the radiation. Reversals are the rule, not the exception. This is from the NASA website. Reversals are the rule, so it's going to happen. Earth has settled in the last 20 million years into a pattern of pole reversal about every 200,000 to 300,000 years. Again, think of it in the time scale of 6,000 years of man, and it's happening a lot more frequently than they believe. A reversal happens over thousands of years and is not exactly a clean backflip. Magnetic fields morph and push and pull at one another, with multiple poles emerging at odd latitudes throughout the process. Now, this is obviously going to cause all sorts of trouble for airline traffic, GPS systems, etc. Anything that uses and even the migration routes of animals, birds, for example. could be confused by all this. So this is a big event, and I don't think this happens before the end of days, because this is such a big event, and we'll see that. Scientists estimate that the reversal have happened at least hundreds of times over the past 3 billion years. And while reversals have happened more frequently in recent years, when dinosaurs walked the earth, a reversal was more likely to happen only about every 1 million years. So when they're talking about dinosaurs roaming the earth, that's in this second section here, that's about 4,000 years ago. And they even dinosaurs roamed the earth well after that. There's stories of Loch Ness and all the other stories, which even confirm that there were dinosaurs even up to 500 years ago. And I believe they're still living. They're just not as big as they used to be. When we say dinosaurs, we think of the big, massive, 3 bus tall and large animals in the storybooks, in the illustrated storybooks of dinosaurs. But if you go to your pet store, you go to your local pet store and look at the lizards, those are the dinosaurs. Did you know reptiles and lizards never stop growing? Did you know that put into a higher pressure and higher atmospheric pressure location, hyperbaric chamber is what I'm trying to say, that they would continue to grow, and if there were no predators, they would continue to grow for their whole lives. And if they were in a good situation like hyperbaric chamber with healthy food, they would live 200-300 years old. How big would they be if they never stopped growing after 200 or 300 years? They would literally be dinosaurs, as dinosaurs that we know of from the storybooks, right? From history. And so they are still living, but the extinction they're talking about, of course, is the Ice Age and the flood of Noah. Another doomsday hypothesis about the geomagnetic flip plays up fears about incoming solar activity. The suggestion mistakenly assumes that a polar reversal would momentarily leave the Earth without the magnetic field that protects us from solar flares, coronal mass ejections. But while the Earth's magnetic field can indeed weaken and strengthen over time, there is no indication that this has ever disappeared completely. A weaker field would certainly lead to a small increase in solar radiation. Is there any reference to that in the Bible? Well, during the wrath of God, the sun is allowed to scorch men with great heat. That could be an indication. That could be a result of a magnetic reversal, couldn't it? Where the magnetic fields are lowered, and therefore more radiation, more energy from the sun is coming at mankind and burning them. What do, though? The Bible says they simply blaspheme God. The science shows that magnetic pole reversal, in terms of geologic timescales, a common occurrence that happens gradually over millennia. While the conditions that cause polarity reversals are not entirely predictable, the North Pole's movement could subtly change direction. For instance, there is nothing in the millions of years of geologic record that suggests that any of the 2012 doomsday scenarios connected to the pole reversal should be taken seriously. This article was written in 2017. It says a reversal might, however, be good business for magnetic compass manufacturers. And this is coming from NASA, so there you go. So here's an interesting commentary, but this is from strangesounds.org. The pole shift, the earth wobbling. Now keep that in mind, tilting. Isaiah 24:20 from the KJV says, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Right now, earth is tilted, being pulled by the above system while fighting to correct itself, which causes vibration known as the earth hum or the Schumann resonance, which is affecting people's hearts and mental states. Now, again, the Bible speaks of men's hearts failing them for fear of things coming upon them. The Schumann resonance could cause people to have heart attacks, literally, because of the things coming upon them. Here is the verse out of Luke 21:26, and it says, and there shall be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and upon the earth the distress of nations with perplexity, men's hearts failing them for fear and looking after those things which are coming on the earth. The powers of heaven will be shaken. The powers of the heaven, you could fit the magnetic shield into that, and men's hearts failing them. How about the Schumann resonance that the earth shakes to, causing the heart failure? God uses his natural creation to judge man. He did in the flood of Noah, when he used the waters of the earth, the waters from the great fountains of the deep, He doesn't use, or he didn't in that case, use supernatural things, unexplainable things. He used the fountains of the deep to cause that. And so I think he would use his natural creation, again, to bring wrath on mankind if they do not repent. And so what happens? Well, you have a magnetic pole reversal. The magnetic field, the Earth's magnetic field, is reduced or goes away temporarily. The sun shines and scorches men with great heat. Their hearts fail because of the Schumann resonance and this vibration, this low rumbling vibration that is happening. So, and these things all are coming to pass. And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with great power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So these are all things happening in the last days. Again, related to the Schumann resonance, men's hearts failing them. And this is Isaiah 24. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken into the snare, for the windows from on high are open. The windows from on high are open. Is the Earth's magnetic field opened up? The foundations of the Earth do shake. Again, the Schumann resonance that is spoken of on this one. The Earth hum, the vibration from this resonance, from the wobble of the Earth and the removal of the magnetic field and the Earth as wobbling as the magnetic field is changing. The Earth is utterly broken. The Earth is clean dissolved. The Earth is moved exceedingly. It's shaking, 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 all because of what's happening. The Earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be moved like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, transgression. And it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Now this indeed does describe to me the last days, the last 3.5 years of the 7-year period, the wrath of God on mankind, and the things that are happening when the sun, moon, and stars go dark, and this idea of the magnetic reversal happens. This could be part and parcel, really, of the kickoff of the day of the Lord related to this. This is fascinating stuff. And this is the Schumann response. Let me just read this here to provide you detail about the Schumann response. Additionally, it says, changes in the Schumann resonance, could greatly affect humans as a whole. So talking about the men's hearts failing them for fear of things coming upon them. Why? Well, studies show that this frequency that the Earth emits is connected to the human body, like a life force. The frequency of of natural Earth heartbeat is about 7.8 hertz, or cycles per second. When the human being lacks this frequency of 7.8 cycles per second, it can become ill, both physically and mentally. Again, men's hearts fail for fear of things coming upon the earth. The Bible is describing these in Luke and Isaiah. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things. They're fearful because of the resonating, the hum, the vibration, the shaking of the earth, and also the hearts are failing because of looking at the things that are happening around them. It says you cannot live without the Schumann resonance and the Earth's frequency, at least not for long, it says, and not in a healthy way. Since the Earth and the human body are connected, it would make sense that the body will be affected by this pole reversal, since the Schumann resonance is measured based on the atmospheric electromagnetic resonance. If the frequency of the atmosphere is changed, it will have effects on humans in some ways. So again, does the Bible describe things happening that are affecting humans and the earth shaking and the resonance, which is the vibration of the earth? The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard and be removed like a cottage. The earth is utterly broken. Earth is clean dissolved, and the earth is moved exceedingly. And it shall come in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of high ones that are on high, the kings of the earth upon the earth. This is speaking about the wrath of God, which happens at the 3.5-year mark. And again, I come back to really this verse, men's hearts failing them for fear of things that are coming upon them. When the magnetic pole reversal happens, and I think it will happen. This is, again, the NASA website. And the last time I guess it happened that they could record was the extinction event, the dinosaurs, which we know they didn't become extinct. They're a lot smaller than they were, but that all happened at the flood of Noah, and likely after that as well. That it happened, or minor variations that simply weren't recorded, and there's probably other documentation related to that. But suffice it to say, I think a magnetic pole reversal explains a lot of things that are happening in that 7-year period, more specifically in the Great Tribulation, when the wrath of God falls on the earth. And the rapture happens just before it. So I don't think we see this, but there are people predicting that it's going to come in, I believe it's March of 2023. So something to further look into, to look on the dating of that, why people think that's going to happen. Scientists can't... they're not estimating or predicting when it's going to happen, because it just kind of happens at some point. And it is certainly a subject we're going to take a look at in the near future, and see what more there is to speak of this particular one. So is there a pole reversal in 2023? I don't know. I think, again, it makes sense biblically, and the Bible verses seem to describe it happening at the last 3.5 years, or the wrath of God, when the wrath of God falls, as all the symptoms of the sun burning men with great heat, and men's hearts failing. Then the symptoms basically are that of what would be the result of a reversal of the magnetic poles. So thanks for watching, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.